Good afternoon, professors and all participants. It's my pleasure to be with you in this prestigious conference. The subject of my talk is protection of children's rights during the COVID-19 pandemic, a case of a study of Indonesia. My talk will be in three parts. In the first part is background. Then in the second part is result and discussion. Third, its conclusion. Let me begin with the first part. The COVID-19 pandemic that has occurred in Indonesia since last year until now has devastated many social and economic aspects of society. According to Ministry of Health, from the 3rd of January 2020 to the 11th of October 2021, there have been 4,227,932 confirmed cases of COVID-19 with 142,651 deaths. Moreover, more than 100 citizens had been vaccinated once and more than 57 million citizens had been vaccinated twice. It is not only the health aspect that has been disrupted by the COVID-19, but also household finances have been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Based on the survey on 212,216 nationally representative household samples spread across 34 provinces conducted between October and November 2020, Semeru Research Institute found that almost three-quarters of households, it means 74.3%, experience a decrease in income from what they received in January 2020. The proportion of households with a greater decline in income is those who have children, 75.3%, and those who live in the urban areas, 78.3%. When the epidemic has caused micro and microeconomic problems, especially the family as the smallest unit in society, it will affect the protection of children's rights so that they can grow, develop, and participate optimally in social life. There are many challenges and obstacles experienced by parents in protecting their children's rights, such as access to education, meeting daily nutritional needs, and children's social life whose activities are limited due to restriction on community activities by the government. However, this presentation will explain and analyze the legal aspects of children protection in Indonesia, the responsibility of the state and parents in protecting children's rights, and how the portrait of child protection carried out by the Indonesian government during the COVID-19 period. Let's move to the next part, which is result and discussion. Okay, there are three parts here from this result and discussion: child protection law in Indonesia, responsibilities of the state and parents in child protection, and portrait of child protection during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next. In laws and regulation in Indonesia, such as Article 1, Paragraph 5 of Law Number 39 of 1999 on human rights, and Article 1, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 35 of 2014 on amendment to Law Number 23 of 2002 concerning child protection. A child is every human. Is it the definition of child in Indonesian law? A child is every human being under 18 years of age and unmarried including children in their mother's womb. The concept of child protection has been regulated in the Indonesian Constitution, the 1945 Constitution's chapter on human rights, Article 28B, which states that every child shall have the right to live, to grow, and to develop, and shall have the right to protection from violence and discrimination. The existence of an article on children's rights in the Constitution proves that children protection is very important to be regulated in more detailed legislation. Law number 4 of 1979 concerning child welfare in Article 2 to 8 regulates children's rights from welfare perspective. For example, Article 2 mentions for rights of children the right to welfare, care, and guidance based on affection, the right to services to develop their abilities and social life, the right to care and protection during pregnancy and after birth, and the right to protection from the environment that endanger or hinder its growth. Moreover, Article 3 to 8 regulate the role of parents and the state in the protecting children's welfare so that they grow and develop properly. Furthermore, Article 55 to Article 66 of Law number 39 of 1999 on human rights regulates children's rights. Some of these articles, among others, explain the right to protection, the right to live and improve their standard of living, the right to citizenship status, the right to care, education, training, and special assistance by state for disabled children, the right to worship, the right to parental care, the right to protection from violence, sexual neglect and abuse, education rights, health and social security rights, protection rights from economic exploitation, and legal protection right for children affected by criminal cases. Within the framework of international law, Indonesia has also ratified the optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Children on the Sale of Children, Child Prostitution, and Child Pornography on September 24, 2001. And efforts to protect children also require law enforcement and sanction for various violations and crimes against children. And here are the list of laws and regulations on child protection in Indonesia. I made it short as a table so it can be seen easily. So now we come to the next point, which is responsibilities of the state and parents on child protection. The state as a subject of international, as a general nation, is defined through its four basic characteristics, such as population, territory, government, and sovereignty. That means each state has a prime responsibility and duty to protect, promote, and implement all human rights and fundamental freedoms, inter alia, by adopting such steps as may be necessary to create all conditions necessary in social, economic, political, and other fields, as well as the legal guarantees required to ensure that all persons under the jurisdiction, individually and in association with others, are able to enjoy all those rights and freedoms in practice. So in the context of child protection, Indonesia as a democratic country has formulated such protection in the 1945 Constitution, particularly in Article 28B, paragraph 2. And also the obligation and responsibilities as the state, government, and local governments to maintain the welfare of children by taking into account the rights and obligation of parents, guardians, or other people who are legally responsible for children. Overseeing the implementation of child protection guarantees children to exercise their rights in expressing opinions according to the age and level of intelligence of children, as well as the most important obligation and responsibilities are to provide basic education for at least 6 years for all children and provide the widest opportunity for children to obtain education and provide tuition fees or free assistance or special services for children from underprivileged or neglected children or children living in remote areas. On the other hand, the family as the smallest unit of society, consisting of husband and wife or husband and wife and their children, is also responsible for fulfilling children's rights. For instance, Article 9 of Law Number 4 of 1979 states that parents are the first to be responsible for realization of the child's physical, spiritual, and social welfare. Then, Article 9 stipulates parents who are proven to have neglected their responsibilities, which result in obstacle in the growth and development of children, can be revoked their custody as parents of their children. Moreover, Article 26, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 35 of 2014, the obligation and responsibilities of parents of their children are first, to nurture, maintain, educate, and protect children, then to develop children according to their abilities, talents, and interests, next, to prevent child marriage, lastly, to provide character education and inculcate the mind of workers to children. Let's turn to the next issue. Portrait of child protection during the COVID-19 pandemic. Based on law number 23 of 2002, which has been amended to law number 35 of 2014, the government of Indonesia has established the Indonesian Child Protection Commission in 2004. This commission has many tasks, including supervising the implementation of protection and fulfillment of rights of child, provide input and suggestion in the formulation of policies regarding the implementation of child protection, collect data and information regarding child protection, receiving and reviewing public complaints regarding violation of children's rights, mediate disputes over violation of the rights of the child, cooperate with institutions established by the society in the field of child protection, and provide a report to the authorities regarding the alleged violation of this law. And in the 2020, to be precise, from 8 to 14 of June 2020, the Indonesian Child Protection Commission conducted a survey with the topic of fulfilling the rights and protection of children during the COVID-19 pandemic. The survey took a sample of 25,164 children from 34 provinces and for 169 parents from 34 provinces in Indonesia. The sampling method is carried out online using social media such as WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. Let's see the chart. The chart. The first chart. The bar chart show the earnings of family in Indonesia during the COVID-19 pandemic year 2020. Overall, there was a great number of households who experienced the decrease of income. It was 66% based on the survey held by the Indonesian Child Protection Commission last year. Unfortunately, 12.8% of families had no income throughout an outbreak of a pandemic disease. Moreover, 20.7% of households felt the same revenue. However, only 0.5% of parents who encounter the rise of earnings. Next chart, the second chart. The diagram compares how are the views of parent and child on food and nutritious satisfaction throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Overall, most children and parents feel that their nutritional fulfillment is the same during the COVID-19 pandemic. Besides, 42.6% of children feel that their menu is better than before, while 23% of parents who experience greater. On the other hand, only few children who express their diet is worse than before, even though more parents assume that their nutriment is worse than before. Let's go to the table, the next table. Here is the role of parents toward children during the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. So there are 7 questions delivered to father and mother. The table explains how parents, both father and mother, perform to protect their children in the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Overall, mothers are superior to fathers in all aspects of child care. The role of a mother is so essential for assisting children during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially when schools are closed and children are learning from home. Next, to the chart 3. We can move to the chart, next chart. We can see a chart 3 that show the kind of physical violence experienced by children during COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. Primarily, physical violence in the form of being pains was the most common form of violence against children, while being stepped on was the least common. If we compare to the chart 4, it demonstrates who commits the most violence against children. The surprising fact is that the mothers are the most frequent perpetrators of physical violence against their children, with 60.4%. Meanwhile, domestic helpers are the least likely to commit violence against children, with a figure of 0.3%. Now, I'd like to end with the summary of the main points. Indonesia, as a state law, has a set of laws and regulations aimed to protecting children's rights. The 1945 Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia, as the highest source of law, stated that every child shall have the right to live, to grow, and to develop, and shall have the right to protection from violence and discrimination. Moreover, the laws that lay out the provision of the Constitution regulates the protection of children, among others, Law Number 4 of 1979 on child welfare, Law Number 39 of 1999 on human rights, Law Number 10 of 2012 concerning ratification of the optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child on the Sale of Children, Child Prostitution and Child Pornography, and Law Number 35 of 2014 on amendments to Law Number 23 of 2002 on child protection. In terms of children, the state has regulated the responsibilities of the central government and the local government for child protection efforts and regulates the responsibilities of parents toward their children. Legal instruments that regulate the rights and obligations of the government and parents have been comprehensively regulated in the laws and regulation. However, the government has established the Indonesian Child Protection Commission as a state institution tasked with planning, implementing, educating, and solving child protection problem in Indonesia. Based on survey result of Indonesian Child Protection Commission in 2020, parents, especially mothers, have a very important role in educating and assisting children during the COVID-19 pandemic. Unfortunately, there are many cases of physical and physiological violence against children by their parents. Although most children feel happy because they have a lot of time with their families, the existing legal instruments are sufficient as the basic for the protection and fulfillment of children's rights. However, those are obstacles in law enforcement, especially in the domestic area of the family environment. Furthermore, the government should provide more parenting education to parents so that they understand and realize their roles and responsibilities properly. Well, I have covered the points that I needed to present today. I'd like to thank you for taking time out to listen my presentation.